Okay guys, we're back for part 3, which we're going to do the arms and the feet. Now I actually had to take this down because I had so many interruptions that you could not understand me, which I'm trying to make this one video per segment of the body so that we can get them done. Alright, so if you look at this bottom here, which is we ended up on these last 6 beads, this one in the middle and these down here. If you're looking at this bead right here on the bottom of your squirrel, it's the very bottom, you're going to take this, and if it's whatever color it is, your secondary color, and if you go to one side of it, you've got these 2 beads here, and the other side of it, you've got these other 2 beads here, and my red nail polish is just banking off this pink. And so anyway, so you have here, and then 1, 2, and then here, and then 1, 2. So it goes away. It has one of the beads, but it takes the other one to the side. So if you understood what I just said. So I'm going to take actually my ends here, and hopefully this works. I'm just going to nip off just a little tiny bit because I don't have them coated. So I'm just going to take the scissors and just take off the smallest little amount at an angle so that it'll go through a lot easier. So you're going to find especially when we get up here where we're going to run into the face is going to be in the way. It might get a little tight, so we may have to do some finagling to get them in there. So, and you know, so you're going to take this right here. There's that white bead. There's the one right next to it. And then the one to the left of that. And then you'll do the opposite on the other side. And we're starting with this squirrel looking straight at us. You're going to get your ends, and you're just going to hold on to them and pull the squirrel away from you so that they're even. And we're going to add 3 and go through 1. And we're not going to pull too tight, because if we do that, then we're going to make the lines uneven. If I can find the hole in this thing. There we go. That's 1, 2, and 3. So there goes my chair again. My chair just will not stay up. It just keeps shrinking. All right, and so I'm going to go through here. And if you notice my ring is different, it's because my other ring broke. The base of it just snapped, so I had to glue it. So alright, so we're going to add 3 and go through 1 on the left, and you may have to lift up the bead a little bit. And we're just going to work, let me get this through here, there we go. I'm going to hold my other end as I pull this down so it doesn't pull it through. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, you know, it's kind of locked in there right now, but just in case. We go into their turn before that happens. So you can see the 2 we just worked through right here. These 2 right here. And we're going around in that circle. So there's 3 here. There's 3 pink on the bottom. There's 1, 2 we've gone through. This one right here I've gone through it. And then 1, 2, 3. So there's 6 beads total. It'll be the same one on the other side, although there may be, they're not angled in the same direction because it's the opposite side. Okay, so we're going to take 2 beads and we're going to go through 1. And if you want to patchwork the paws, you can, which just means you just use hodgepodge, you know, colors. If you want to change the colors from, you know, white to pink or whatever you're using, I'm just saying because it's what I'm using. So if you want to exchange them and move them around, whatever you want to do. I mean, I did that on this one because I ran out of beads, so I just used the cream colored for this one paw. All right, so we add 2 and we're going to go through 1, and these on the belly, on the body, are a little bit tight, so as I said, we may have to finagle them. These holes are big enough, but if your holes aren't big enough, then you need to just anchor with a tool. Let me show you. If you can take, like I have this tool, but you can take any, you know, thinner pair of pliers that will go through it, or a pair of scissors, and just kind of prop it up if it's not. Okay. All right, and then line 3 is add 2, go through 1. And we're just building this paw here. And I will show you something in a minute. I went to Joann's, which I don't normally do because their bead selection's down to almost nothing. And their prices on a lot of their beads are just really high. So, but I did go in there because I've looked at all the other stores for these plastic beads. And Hobby Lobby right now is the one that has them, that, you know. But I found these other ones, and they're made by Hildy and Joe. And same amount, 360 count for 8mm beads, but they're in different colors that I would like to work with, that weren't so, you know, loud. So this went through 2. We want to go through 1. If we get it through that hole, there we go. Okay, there we go. Get it through 1 and give it a nice good snug there. Okay, line 4 is add 2, go through 2, and it's going to be over 1, up 1. We're going to add 2. So I have all the dogs in here right now. It's just been a crazy day. I had the repairman here today, and only one thing really I was able to get repaired because the other thing, it needed a part, and oh, it was just ugh. Anyways, he's an awesome repairman. I'm so lucky to have him because they're hard to find. Okay, so we're going to go through 1 and up 1. So through 1. Whoa, what happened? My eyes just... Okay, through 1. That's that one there. And up 1. And that's Luna. Hey, Luna. I don't know what she's barking at. I'm going to pull on both sides. Whoops, what happened to my... There we go. Wow, that was weird. That went really way out of there. Okay. And then we're going to go through... That was 1. I'm going to add 1, go through 1. Not that one. Add 1, go through 1. And I'm trying to keep this as short as possible so that it's not that, you know, I might be able to put it in front of or add it to the tail. The tail's going to take a little bit of time, but we'll see. Okay, so there's add 1, go through 1. And this is line 5. And line 6 is add 3, go through 1. Add 3. Okay, let's see. Now here's our thing. We're coming down. If you lose your spot, just whoops, I'm like out of contortion here. If you lose your spot, you gotta see where you're coming in at. So add 3. I'm gonna go through where we're coming in at right here, but don't go through that hole. Don't go, if it pops up, don't go through the loop. Make sure you're out of the loop. This is one time you want to be out of the loop. Actually, I can think of lots of times I would rather be out of the loop. It's like, yeah, don't include me in on that email. No thanks. I'd rather not know. Okay, oops, something happened. So we added 3, and we're gonna go through 1. I think it just popped out on me and I don't want to go through the loop, so I'm gonna get that loop out of the way. Push that through. And pull it down. There we go. I don't know what the heck just happened. Okay, that was line 6. Line 7's add 1 main color, and we're going to go through 1 on the left, and then we're going to go all the way through. I'm having the darndest time with dexterity and my brain and pretty much everything, so just bear with me. Okay, so we're going to go through 1 on the left. and there we go. And then we're going to go all the way around and we're going to cross through this so that we can tighten it up. And then we're going to go through one more than that. So, but first we're going to go through to we're crossing our bead, or crossing our lines through the same bead. And this is going to get a little loose as we do that, because that's why we're doing this, is to tighten it up and make it where it is nice and taut. So let's, oops, that went somewhere. I don't know where it went. So I like having my ends colored, but for these feet, it just didn't make any sense to do that. Okay, so we're crossing through the same bead. And this is my right line, and I'm going to go one more, basically coming out of the same one we started off in, and then pull that really nice and snug so it's nice and tight. Okay, and then the last bead is going to be adding one main color, and we're going to tie this off. When you're cutting your line, cut a little bit more than you think you would need. I hope that's not just sitting there with my hand in the way. What on earth? I don't know how, I just saw it in the thing. I wasn't paying attention because I was paying attention to where I was going. I didn't, hopefully that wasn't blurry the whole time. So let me take a look at that. Okay, so hopefully, sorry about that. I had to actually stop the video, and so I'm going to have to stitch it together, which drives me nuts, but oh well. I had to stop the video to see if it was continuing to be blurry throughout the whole video. So I apologize, that really freaked me out. So we're back to where we crossed our lines for this last bead. Okay, so you just need to be able to get to where you're going to meet your lines in a place, like right under the foot, where you can come through and tie it off where it's the knot's out of the way. So if you just take your line, and I'm only going to show you on this one because for time's sake, I'm going to show you on this one how to do that. This is trying to go through both beads here. There we go. And go through that, sew that down. And then take this one and do the same thing one the other way if we can, because that was a pretty tight fit. I'm going to put that in there. Woo! There we go. Got it. Yay! So pull these both, so pull that down nice and tight. And if it's in between this one, like this one seems to be, just take it out of there. It got caught between the two, okay? And you just pull that down nice and tight. And I'm gonna work my way down over here, and Luna's ferocious. I'm going to take my way down into here, and I'm going to tie off my line. So you just kind of work it however way you want it to get it to where you want it. Just don't get it up where the arms are or where the tail is going to be. So I'm just going to work it to the bottom of the foot, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to do the next foot. Okay, so now we're at the other foot, and we're going to go through those two beads that I showed you. Sorry, my red nail polish banking off that. These two right here. I'm coming out of both those ends there. There's the third bead for the main color bead, and these 3 white beads, these 6 beads. Okay, so we're just repeating the same thing. I'm going to add 3 main color and go through 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to go through 1. Hold on a second. Okay, so we're going to go through 1. The first one we're going to go through is going to be that white one right there. Just make sure we don't go through any loops. any other lines. Hang on, just getting a little, move that out of the way, and we'll fix it in just a second. Just make sure we're not going out of anything else, and we are like getting caught up in other things, because it's going to want to fish through another side. And you go ahead and see, I just pulled too hard. Check my lines, so I'm good. Okay, don't pull too hard. And then we're going to add 2, go through 1. I'm going to just go through here. Sorry about that. And then we're going to go through 1. And look, these white beads are really nice because their holes are so big. It's easy to get through. And just pull, not too hard, because we're still not in that safe space where we can do that yet. So we're going to add 2 and go through 1. This is line 3. I'm trying to get Luna acclimated into the other 2, who are way too big for her, but she needs to be able to come out and be able to play with them, so that's why you're going to hear dogs. Alright, so, whoa. Alright, so we're going to go through 1, and if you have to use your fingernail or a tool to lift up a little bit so you only go through that 1, that's fine. Okay, now we can pull just firmly, not too firmly. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to pull it through. Okay, that was line 3. Line 4 is add 2 and go through 2, 1 over and 1 up. So we're going to add 2 and go through 2, 1 over, 1 up. Okay, and so if you look at this, last on the other side it was a white bead on the bottom, but now because we're going in the opposite direction, it's going to be a pink bead. Make sure we're not inside that loop. Okay, that's 1 over and 1 up. And if you have to move the bead a little bit, you can. It'll all come back together nice and tight once we get that going. And give it a nice snug pull. Okay, line 5 is add 1, go through 1. I don't know what she's eating over there. Hopefully it's not anything she's not supposed to be eating. Another food out, and I hope that's what she's eating. She's kind of chewing on it, so that's a little chewy for... Put you on hold for a minute. What do you got there? What do you got in there? What do you... Oh, you do that something. Hang on. Okay, despite my putting things into a container with a lid on it, this is a dog drool on me. She was chewing on something kind of chewy. She found one of these. That's why I said it's so important. I got it out of her mouth, thank goodness. So it's just very important to make sure it's put away. And I thought I did. It must have dropped one and didn't even know it dropped. So that's why it's very important to be very careful with animals and your beads and stuff, because they can get hurt. All right, so, and she's fine now. She's all looking around for something else to get into. That was Athena, because she's being ignored. Okay, so we added 1 and went through 1. We're going to add 3 and go through 1 again. It's never boring at my house, is it, guys? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go through 1. And then a nice snug pull. And then we're going to add one and go through one on the left and then go around the whole one to the side like we did before. Sorry about my arm getting in the way there. So we're going to go take it to the one on the left. Just that one right there. And we're going to go all the way around. See how we had this gap here? We're going to get rid of that gap. Well, if I can get this through, there we are. There we go. And then we'll pull nice, and once we get them crossed, we'll pull it nice and tight. And then here we go here. See, it's just all very loose and discombobulated. I'm going to cross over here. So we're crossing through the same bead. Oops, this took me down the wrong way. Went down the wrong rabbit hole. Now pull real nice and tight, and it just locks everything in there nice and tight. Okay, now we want to go one more because we need to be able to put that other bead in there, like a little flower. It looks like I got a bead with a flaw in it, but that's okay. All right, these little pieces in the trash can, and I had the trash can above, like almost on my desk, so they can't get to it, and I must have just missed a trash can. I feel horrible, but she's fine. So all right, so we're gonna cross through this one bead here, and like I said, you're gonna take it down however you want to tie it off is fine. It's you know, you're not wearing it as a necklace, so it's fine. But I prefer to try to put it underneath so at least it's hiding. So I'm going to try to get down there. And so in order to do that, we got to go back through. And you can actually go straight down this way on this one. You can go straight down. It probably would be a better hold on it if we did too. So yeah, just take it straight down on that side. And let's see what this side can do. And go over here, through this one here, and pull these both because they're both kind of just, all right? And then we're going to come back around here, and we're going to go ahead and meet. Oh, we're going to meet this right here, and we're going to tie that off. Okay, so I'm going to make my knot and I'm going to tie it off and I'm going to hide it. All right, we'll be back. Hi everyone, back again for the arms. I've taken my strand right here, and yes, it's a little curly. I had a situation, so I had to undo it. This is attempt number 2. So here's my 6 beads. If you're looking at the side, this is my right side, this is my left, and this is the 6 beads we're going to be working with on the arm. These bottom 3 beads is where my line's going through and coming out. That bead right there and that bead right there, they're coming out, and that's where our starting spot is. Okay, so we're going to take one main color bead and we're going to cross through it, and we're not going to go through anything. And I'm trying to make this video for the feet and the paws shorter so that y'all won't have to go through, you know, it won't be a big deal to go through the tail or take a long, you know what I mean? All right, anyways, so there we didn't go through anything. Then we're going to add 3, and we're going to go through 1 on the left. And some of these beads might be, for y'all, might be a little bit difficult to go through. So you may need to lift the beads up or, you know, kind of adjust it because the body's kind of tight and the cheek of the squirrel is in the way, sort of. And depending upon what size beads you're using and how big the holes you're using are, you may need a little bit of to adjust a little bit. So there's add 3, and we're just going to go through 1. As I said, we're working with these 6 beads here. So just going to go through this one right here. This one right here. So we'll go through that. And pull down, if I can get it. pull it down nice and tight. Okay, and then the next line is line 3 is add 2, go through 1. And we're going to go through 1. Get my hands up there too high. We're having really nice weather here. I actually get to put on long sleeves. It's really nice. I'm so excited because Texas, we don't ever get a fall. We just get Indian summer till November, maybe December even. So it's kind of shocking that we're having such cool weather right now. All right, so now this is the, right here, this bead right here. This is that top bead in that 6 beads. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. I'm not going to worry about it getting being all popped out, because I'll tighten that up in a minute. But what you're going to find if you can't get this to go in the right direction, it's going to head off into the body. I mean, it went through the hole fine. I just have to use something else to get it out. I'm going to pull that nice and snug. Okay, line 4 is add 2, go through 2, 1 over and 1 up. So just like with the paw, we're building the base here. So now this is where it gets a little bit fun. We have to go through this bead right here, and if the hole isn't big enough, then you're not going to get through it, and you may have to anchor it up. But I'm lucky because these holes are big on this beads, and so we went 1 over. So just basically that's the 6th bead in the line of beads right there. Some stinking fingernail again, right there. That's the one we just went through. I'm ready to go through this one right here. So I may need to just kind of lift it up a little bit so I can get underneath it and pull up. And then pull both sides nice and tight. Okay, line 5 is add 1, go through nothing. And then we're almost done with this one paw. Pull that, and then we're going to add 2 number 2s and go through 1 on the left, and then oops, butterfingers. Okay, 2 number 2s. We're going to go through 1 on the left. Well, maybe. Slippery fingers this morning, having to grab that. There we go. All right, I'm going to pull that nice and tight. Now we're going to add the 3rd bead. I'm going to cross through 1 more bead. We're going to tie this off, and we need to get into a position where we can do that because the way this sits. Okay, so we want a triangle. Okay, so see how we just put these beads on my right and my left, and normally you would come underneath here where this left one is, but we're not going to do that because we want this to be a triangle. So I'm going to come through this bead here. So I'm actually skipping a bead. Okay, and I'm going to come through this bead here on top, this bead here on top, boop, this is butterfingers, and I'm going to tie this off right here, like that. See how we have that nice little paw there? It's a triangle. So I'm going to tie this off, and I'm going to tuck in my lines, and I'll come back and we'll do the other side. Okay, I don't know what happened. My camera shut off. I had it on pause and it shut off, so. All right, now, same thing, just as the left, this is the right. So, there's that horseshoe, there's that bead that sticks out on the side. Here's this horseshoe of beads, of 5 other beads right here. We're going through, coming out of this one and this one. And we're going to go through those 3 and build up our arm. Okay. So the first one is, again, cross through 1 and go through nothing. So let's see. Go through nothing. Add 3 and go through 1. And I think I said this on the feet. I did the feet yesterday, and oops, there we go. You can make this patchwork if you want. Do whatever. I mean, I've said it before. Probably kind of stupid coin phrase I've said. It's your world, beat it kind of how you want it to look. And so, you know, you can do it in different colors. All right, so here's basically 4 beads. We're going to go through that one that we didn't go, because we didn't go through anything there. It's okay that it's all discombobulated. So now we're going to go through it on this side, making sure we're not going through any of the loops. Okay. And you may need to prop it up, which I'm going to do on this one because this head really is in the way. So I'm just going to stick this through there. There's this is a good enough hold on these beads with this line that you don't need to worry about breaking it, unless you're probably break your bead before you broke your thing. It's not that it's too tight in there, it's that it's in an angle I can't get to it in. Hang on, this is going through something it's not supposed to. I need to put my glasses on, I can't even see it. This is where those colored ends really come in handy. Alright, so let's try this again. So we need to go through this bead right here. I don't want to go through that loop, so I'm going to move that out of the way. There we go. There we go. See it? Just move that out of the way. Didn't have to do it too much. Now I'm going to pull both sides because it's kind of discombobulated right now. And it needs to be, and I'll pull this one to this side because that's that left bead. But I also need to pull the right because I don't want a whole bunch of slack through those 2 beads. Okay. All right. Now, next one, take those off, is add 2, go through 1. We're going to go through 1. I'm going to go through this one right here. And see how the face is in the way? It's a little bit, it's a little bit hard. So don't worry if it pops up again, just move that out of the way. And let me see, how am I going to get this in there? I'm just going to try to get my fingers in there. Missing that hole. Here, let's do this. There we go. Okay. Now let's pull that back into shape. Pull it, give it a nice, firm, snug. Hold your beads in snugs, and everything just locked right down for me. Everything just went right into place where it belongs, which is nice. Okay, that was line 3, line 4. Add 2, go through 2, 1 over, 1 up. This is really quick. This doesn't, the arms and the feet don't take that long. It takes longer to teach it than it does to actually do it. There we go. And then we're going to go through 2, so we're going to go to this one here, so don't get caught in that loop. Move that out of the way. And kind of have to finagle that to go in there. It's running into another bead, so again, I'm just going to prop that up. Get that out of the way. And where'd it go? There we go. See how I went through that? And hold that down. Pull that tight. Pull my left side tight. So we went over 1, and we're going to go up 1. I'm going to pull that nice and tight. All right, and so we're going to go add 1 and go through nothing. And then we have 3 more beads to put on, and we're done with the paws. Okay, pull that nice and tight. And we're going to add 2 and go through 1 and 2 of the number 2 colors, your secondary color. There we go. And then we're going to go through 1 on the left. You know what, you're going to actually even go through 2 on the left, but let me see. Yeah, probably not. No, let's just keep it where it is for right now. This is how she did it, so we'll do it how she did it. All right, so I'm going to go through 1, our last one, and pull down. And because we want this to be a triangle, we're going to skip over this, and we're going to come through this on the left side. We're going to skip 1. And come through the side. And around the head. Because it's my last one. And I'm going to come through here. I'm going to meet down here. And I'm going to tie off. And I'm tying off here for speed's sake, but you can actually try to work this around until you take it down to where you want to tie it off underneath. But this is for speed's sake, so that's 1 and 1 more. So regular like a shoelace the first time, surgeon's not the second time. And then just take your lines through and tuck them in and tie them off. And you can try to pull this into a bead, but I don't think it's just too big. So, and I'm going through the same holes because this is a desk. This is going to sit on a desk. So I'm not worried about, you know, making sure it doesn't come undone. It's not going to be played with other than someone holding on to it. Just kind of pull as hard as you can. Get those away, and we'll come back and do the tail. I'm going to go ahead and hide these through here and tie them off, but and the next thing we're going to do is the tail. All right, see you in a few minutes.